Yes, yes. What is up, people? Welcome to Last Call Reacts. This is Last Call. This is the video I drop once a week on some news. But today, I'm doing something a little different. I'm just doing a continuation from a video that I did last week. As you can see, this is Cincinnati Brawl numero do I don't know where I was going there, numero uno or whatever the hell I was trying to say there. But this is part 2 to that. A little follow-up, if you will, even though it's not a whole bunch of stuff to follow up. So do me a favor, if you haven't been following this, I know there's just so many other things going on in the news. Quite frankly, I could do about a video a day, if I wasn't tired from my other job and doing everything that I got to do to go do that stuff. But anyway, that's not the point. The point is just a little bit of a follow-up. So if I do a little bit of a re-up from some of the information here from the Cincinnati Brawl, if you want to remember, this was at after Cincinnati Jazz Fest, when the only video and context that was available to us at the time was that what appeared, and I'm going to say mob now, but I object to using mob as they did in the news. We got the context that there was a black mob that attacked a white couple, a helpless white couple, for no reason. And outpouring of sympathy went towards the white. It immediately divided people. It either affirmed black racists like the Hodge twins and Tatum to go on to these platforms and start, saying, see, look at them, they're bad, I'm one of you guys, sort of deal, before they knew the facts. Now, and the facts remain that now 6 people have been arrested. 6 black people have been arrested for this. And there's the guy that perpetrated the crime that didn't get anything. So what we saw, in the initial days of the Cincinnati Brawl was that these guys were brutally beaten. There were pictures of the girls. Even the soon-to-be Republicans came on and gave their piece, very sympathetic to the lady, which in a way there is sympathy in just terms of a human being, of a woman being beaten there. That's just not a good look, and it's not good for anybody. But what we didn't know, and what we know now, is the update that the context not only changes, but it widens. It not only cancels out the previous mudslinging back and forth for people, but it shows how, number one, going through the typical mantra of, oh, this is what they do, this is typical, these guys beating on this person, when that's really not the case. What you're looking in the back there, the background shows the news conference of the update. It takes a little while to start, but we're not really using that. You're just listening to my voice on a little bit of an update for about 5 or 10 minutes here of what's going on and the other concerns that this brought as well. This was divisive. A lot of people jumping in back and forth about what they thought initially about this whole thing in the brawl. So if you don't know by now, apparently there were some racial words hurled from the white man to the black people. And not only that, so beyond the verbal altercation, the white man targeted a black man who had nothing to do with it and decided to turn it up, change the degree, and attack him physically. So we got somebody else. It sounds like maybe it sounds like the kind of behavior where people drink and they're sloppy and they don't know what they're doing. Maybe very brazen, very, very brave for, afterwards pushing out their chest and then fighting. Not only fighting, but fighting anybody, letting your judgment escape, letting your judgment escape you for a few minutes, where you think you can fight everybody and that you're protected, not knowing and having no situational awareness whatsoever. So we got 6 people charged in this. When we go back, a lot of people ran to the white woman's aid because, yeah, she was hurt, but treated her as a complete victim as though she wasn't part of the verbal assaults where that aggression came from that side. A lot of people are asking now, well, one person, it's evident, one person became physical, which was the white guy. Yet we're seeing he is able to walk around freely, not being charged for what he's done. You have a trustee in Ohio using racial slurs that refuses to resign as it related to the Cincinnati Brawl. They call those guys a thug. You could call defense. If this were a stand your ground case, if there had been a weapon, a death, or anything like that, the guy who instigated the shit would be walking free. He'd be walking free right now. This thing never stops. Never, ever stops. I'm just moving. We're not going to take anything away from that right now. But looking at that whole situation over there, and we've had a couple more situations, by the way. We had a couple more situations of people getting attacked. There was a white mob, if you will, who attacked a black kid and their friend who were with other white people. They actually had an altercation. Look all this stuff up. Just look in the news. If we keep looking at things like this, like the Cincinnati Brawl, we're going to think that's the only thing that's out there. We go down the rabbit hole. But as you go to the news, kind of like what I do once in a while too, this is nothing but a drop in a bucket compared to all the things that are going out there, all the instigation, all the altercations, all the confrontations out there are outweighed. It's almost as though they need a little spark like this, even without the context, to be able to point and say, look, and distract the general public from other crazier, more diabolical things going on. So we ask, say dude got his ass whipped. But if you start the fight, who's to say what's to happen to you? Ramaswamy, I believe the guy, his name is, who is could be running for mayor or a certain seat there. I said in my previous video, I totally forgot what his position was. But where a lot of people choose not to make it political, these guys are definitely using it for what he thought was his advantage. And maybe it still is for people who only see one side of things. They gave, was it the police chief, the lady who gave out kind of a scolding to the media, saying things like this, you guys, the media, pointed the fingers at the media saying, you guys give all this information without the proper context. Wait for the news to come out. You guys, and really what they're doing is producing a powder keg, right? Making racial tensions. This is the biggest thing popping up since two things this week: Umar Johnson and the Cincinnati Brawl, but a couple things other. Now, one of the newscasters are saying now his son knocked out a 76-year-old woman in that town. None of these things are getting the coverage that deserve, but we're used to that in the media world, right? But this is very interesting. The Cincinnati Brawl, this could be anywhere USA, right? This could be anywhere USA because of the elements that are here: entitlement, emboldenment, tensions, racial language, other initiation. He knew, and I don't want to go too far because I don't want to be like one of these guys opposite Hodge twins or Tatum, who's just taking the opposing view because I feel like I have to. That is not the case. There we see the little victim in the background and everything. And where the guys are thugs, I know a couple of them have records, but they keep painting this woman as, oh, the single mom from Cincinnati, blah, 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 all that stuff. That's the way they announce her. The other guys, oh, the criminal, the this, the that, the other. So the media is not fair at all, not being fair. And now there's a backlash because they did this. We know they do this when all the facts aren't out, because they have to have a story. They have to say something. They have to have a news presence there. Fox has gone awfully dark on the story, much like the Carmelo Anthony story. Remember that? Kid that stabbed the kid who approached him. Father was found to have all that racist stuff going back and forth on a panel online. This stuff is crazy. But as I said, I wanted to follow this up to see where this is going to go. And we see a lot of these news outlets. We see a lot of these angry people. Not even that they're recoiling a little bit, but they're trying to move on to other instances because this one didn't prove their racism right. This is the last call. Do me a favor, man. Check out my videos. Check me out on my lives Friday, 9 o'clock. Would appreciate you seeing you there. Drop me a like, share, subscribe. Check out my stuff, man. Totally appreciate you checking me out. Have a good weekend. Have a good day. Peace, peace, peace.